Jessica, and this is Daebak K-Rambles, where a couple of friends review Korean dramas. And I'm pumped because I have repeat guests with me. I have Jenny back from the Pocha playlist. Jenny, how have you been? How has been your year? Because it's been about a year since we've last talked on the Goblin episode.
Yeah, that's wild. Oh my gosh, time flies, definitely. I've been good. We're still reviewing K-dramas out here on the Pocha playlist. But yeah, we're currently watching a couple of non-rom-commies, so I'm waiting for the rom-coms to hit for the rest of this year. But how have you been doing?
I've been doing well, super busy. I had kind of a hectic morning, but I'm glad that I was able to finish the drama that we're going to talk about today, which is You're Beautiful from 2009. The reason why we're doing You're Beautiful, and specifically that I requested that you come on this episode with me, is because on the Goblin review, you said that your first K-drama was You're Beautiful. And we had a moment and I was like, wow. So I put that in the back of my mind and I was like, I have to have Jenny back if we ever do You're Beautiful. So it's happening. We're going to talk about it. This is a show for sure. And without further ado, I think we're just going to jump into some housekeeping and then we're going to get going on this. If this is your first time listening, thank you so much for listening. Go ahead and subscribe on your favorite podcast app. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and many more. And if you like us, please give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. And come check us out on social media to stay up to date on everything that we're doing, our latest episodes and reviews. You can find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at DaebakPod. And lastly, if you're a fan, please consider becoming a patron because it is a great way for you to not only get involved and show your support, but get a bunch of extra content. You can check out the page on patreon.com/alwayscriticpod. And I do want to shout out our patrons, Curtis, Bale, Cindy, CD, Alana, Grace, Lorna, Lee, and Sammy. You guys are wonderful. Love having you guys in the community. And let's go. We're going to talk about You're Beautiful. And I went sideways on this one. I have the Wikipedia synopsis instead of the Asian Wiki or My Drama List synopsis because those were complete trash. I don't even know how they let that on the internet. I was like, how is this even English? So here's the Wikipedia synopsis of this show. Ko Min-yo has lived at an orphanage with her twin brother Ko Min-nam since childhood after their father died. Years later, Min-nam becomes a music idol and Min-yo lives in a junior nun dorm to fulfill her sorry, I'm already laughing. To fulfill her dream of becoming a nun. One day, Min-nam successfully auditions for and wins the A.N. Entertainment vocal auditions to join the musical band A.N.JELL, or Angel. However, he must leave for the U.S. in order to correct his botched plastic surgery. Min-nam's manager approaches Min-yo and requests for her to pose as Min-nam for a month until he recovers. Min-yo is against it at first, but eventually agrees, as a path to fame would give the twins an opportunity to find their mother. Thus, Min-yo poses as her brother and joins the band A.N.JELL, where she meets its members, the arrogant Hwang Tae-kyung, the gentle Kang Sin-woo, and the bubbly Jeremy. So, yeah, this drama is basically she cross-dresses as her brother, and she's originally a nun, and now she's thrown into the world of Hallyu and K-pop. Quite the show. Like right off the bat, this plot is buck wild. This originally aired from October to November 2009, and I just want to pause here and say, like, where were you in 2009? What was happening in your life? Because it's a while back.
Okay, 2009, Jenny. And to give context for why this is my first K-drama too, was I was very much into the K-pop world, like I was an FT Island fan, and I was like Lee Hoon-gi, freaking posters of this man on my wall. And so I think I was in like maybe middle school, maybe early high school. I don't even remember. But I just remember being like, oh my gosh, I am in love with Lee Hoon-gi and he's going to be in something called a K-drama. Like, what is this? And so literally it was like one of the reasons why I got into like the K-drama world in general was because I was just so into K-pop. I was just like, just do my little middle school thing, listen to my K-pop, and then just got thrown into this world of romance. And I was like, wow, okay, I'm ready for this ride. And I've been on this ride for the rest of my life. So
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, 2009 was the year I graduated from high school.
Oh my gosh.
And just to set the scene for people that are like maybe on the younger side or don't realize what was happening in 2009, Barack Obama was inaugurated in 2009.
Oh my gosh, what a trip.
Yes, Parks and Rec, the show, and the TV show Glee made their TV debuts in 2009.
Debut?
Yes,
A debut?
the first year.
Oh my goodness.
Michael Jackson died in 2009.
Wow.
Yes. Let me see. Taylor Swift was still winning country music awards.
Wow.
Slumdog Millionaire swept the Oscars that year. Heath Ledger I know. And speaking of Oscars, Heath Ledger wins Best Supporting Actor posthumously for his role as Joker in The Dark Knight. So this is the time period that we're talking about. We still have Harry Potter movies coming out. We still have Twilight Saga movies coming out in theaters. Avatar, which just got a sequel not too long ago, The Way of Water. The first Avatar movie was released in 2009. I'm telling you, it is the beginning of things because even Disney acquired Marvel in 2009. This is when You're Beautiful comes out, right? This crazy year with all of this stuff happening and all of these pop culture moments that people seem to forget happened in 2009, so long ago. When you said pandemic in 2009, people thought you meant the H1N1 swine flu.
What?
Yes, that was the pandemic in 2009. So honestly, it was kind of nice to revisit, not just for the nostalgia of the show, but just think back to where the heck we were as a society in 2009.
Yeah, bring us back, honestly. I miss that era of my life.
I was so young.
Right? We're full of hope. Oh, what a trip. I know, like, even in the show, there's, like, scenes where they were, like, clubbing, and the songs they were playing, I was, like, jamming out. I was like, this was so lit back in the day. Like,
right?
Oh, I loved it. So great. What a great time.
It was a time. So this show is 16 episodes long. And it had a director, Hong Sung-chang, and the assistant director was Park Yong-sun. And he's directed things like 49 Days and Miss Granny, which are two more well-known. To me, they're a little more well-known than some of the other work that the assistant director has done. I think more than anything, this show was written by the Hong sisters, which is Hong Jung-un and Hong Mi-ran. Two sisters who are prolific screenwriters, and we kind of delve deep on their filmography and their screenplays on the Alchemy of Souls episodes, which I ended up splitting into two parts. But yeah, that was their most recent thing, was Alchemy of Souls. How do you feel about Hong sisters dramas and their writing in general?
I don't know. I'm a sucker for the Hong sisters. Like, I feel like on Pocha Playlist, sometimes we're very critical of things. We're like, well, plot hole here, like this, that. But like, honestly, if I really just like go back to my roots, like the Hong sisters know how to hit us with the emotions, with the, the crazy out there storylines. And I feel like they do get critiques a lot because like sometimes people say they reuse plot lines, reuse tropes. But I'm like, that's just like K-drama, like this is what K-dramas are about, like Alchemy of Souls, and then going down like Hotel de Luna, also iconic, Korean Odyssey, iconic, like so many of these, even from like way back in the day, like Sassy Girl in 2005, I never even watched that K-drama and I've heard of it, like these are just so iconic. So I feel that the Hong sisters know what they're doing, and I don't know, I love them at the end of the day.
Okay, so I'm so glad you say that because we have differing opinions on the Hong sisters. I generally sort of dislike the way that they write things. I think they're good at balancing really melodramatic moments with comedic moments. I think that's what kind of brings people back, is that you're not just wallowing the whole episode. They have these lighter moments punctuated throughout, and they are very good at physical comedy, writing in some physical comedy for the actors. And obviously that's no, you can look at Alchemy of Souls, you can look at Hotel de Luna, Korean Odyssey. It goes way back. That's a little bit of a signature for them. And they love fantasy elements, and they are sort of foundational. Like, I can't take this away from them. They're foundational for K-drama, and a lot of the tropes that we see, they were pioneering or they were redefining. And especially in this show, I felt like revisiting it, they tried to subvert a lot of the tropes. Like, you would be like, oh, they're about to kiss, and it's like, oh no, he moves her face out of the way or something. Like, it's very, they're subverting a lot of things because the audience already has some expectations. Maybe some that the Hong sisters created and some that they're just, you know, like still within the wheelhouse of K-drama. But I thought it was fun to see, but also this, I don't feel necessarily like I'm in love with any Hong sisters K-drama, if you feel me. Like, I appreciate what they've done, but I'm not like, you know, I'm not waving the Hong sisters flag over here like a lot of people are, and that's fine. Like, everyone can have their own opinion, their own feelings toward things. If you love Alchemy of Souls, I'm so happy for you. Like, as a matter of fact, I'm very happy for you. Great, keep it. It's yours. For me, not so much. And that's kind of how I wanted to wrap up the Hong sisters talk, because I feel like it's a little touchy after. I don't know if you were privy to like all of the Alchemy of Souls hate that was around, or like the toxicity of some of that fandom.
Oh
my God,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so if you didn't like the show, then you were definitely privy to some of this nonsense online. But you know, everyone has their likes and dislikes, and if you like Hong sisters dramas, they're not going anywhere. Like, keep watching. So I kind of think that this 2009 drama might make some people a little weary of the Hong sisters just because of its age, and we can talk about that. So
Definitely.
Yes. So this show stars Park Shin-Hye as Ko Min-yo / Ko Min-nam. She's playing both roles, the twins. And how do you feel about Park Shin-Hye? Because
Park Shin-Hye, oh man, she's so iconic in itself. You know, like, I feel like she was obviously my first K-drama, and then she goes on, and I feel like she goes from the very strong like K-drama female lead in all the rom-coms, and now I feel like she's delved into this new world. Like, watching her in The Call, I was like blown away by her like change of, I guess, like charisma almost. Like, it's just she's playing such different roles. You know, I think that her crying ability is freaking top tier. If there's anyone I can count on in the K-drama industry to be able to shed tears, it is Park Shin-Hye. Like, her ability to do that is like amazing. I would say if people haven't seen her in other K-dramas, she is very different now than obviously in this K-drama. Like, just watching her act in this one, it's like with the pouty face and kind of like the humph, you know, like that like vibe. It's just like, it's very different. But overall, I mean, I think I appreciate her because she was my first K-drama gal. I feel like I tried following her work afterwards, just because, you know, you have that special connection with your first K-drama. But I would say, like, I definitely think I fell off her train, you know, probably around like a couple years after this one. You know, no issue to her, but it's just like, felt like some of the things got a little repetitive, so I ventured into other K-drama actresses, but still have a special place in my heart for her.
That's so nice to hear. I don't think I ever put her necessarily on a pedestal. I will say that I watched this drama, You're Beautiful, I want to say in 2014, so it wasn't in 2009.
Got you.
And I think that I was starting to watch a bunch of Park Shin-Hye dramas, and this one, I'll say my first impressions and how I felt in 2014 watching this show. But Park Shin-Hye, we mentioned her and her career on the Airs episode, and that was very interesting because if you juxtapose, or she feels like same thing as Lee Min-ho, where she's not gone out of fashion, and the way that she acts and the types of roles that she took are out of fashion, right? Like people wouldn't gravitate towards these kind of characters today. And yes, she's gained a lot of acclaim, but then when you look at some of the stuff that made her famous, you're like, this is not that great, you know? And I feel like this is one of those roles where you're like, I don't know, I can't tell if it's the Hong sisters' influence or if it's her, the way she's playing the character, that makes me a little bit annoyed. And her in The Heirs is the same thing. Like that character had no personality, and it probably had nothing to do at all with Park Shin-hye and her performance. It was just what was on the paper. But yeah, in this case, she is irking me in different ways. And again, it's probably just what's on the paper, what's on the screenplay, that she's a little bit childish in this show. She's a little bit bumbling in this show. She's very innocent and dense, and to a point where you're like, okay, this is like too much for one person to be this completely dense and like romantically handicapped at this point. So this is Park Shin-hye. Yes, this is Park Shin-hye in this drama, and that's a little bit of the things that really annoyed me. But like you said, the call, #alive, my annoying brother. I said this on the Airs episode. I think I like her movie work better than her K-drama work. I think that stands up way better over time than some of these, especially some of these older K-dramas that made her famous. I'm like, oof, I can't rewatch that. So
yeah, I definitely think the female lead aesthetic was so cringe back in the day. Like now looking back, right, as like we're older, we're adults now, we've been through whatever our lives, and we're just like, oh my gosh, like that's what like they were trying to portray as like, this is what is attractive to men, just being so confused and bumbling and clumsy. And like, I don't know, like I feel like back in the day I also watched a lot of like anime, like that kind of stuff too, and I feel like it was a similar messaging back in like the early 2000s, like just like clumsy kind of adults, like really naive, and like I don't know, man, like I feel like the stereotypes, it was just they were trying so hard to make us all believe it, and I think I bought it. I don't know, I'll blame K-dramas for my lack of dating life when I was in middle school, because I was like, oh yeah, I want to be like really doltsy and clumsy, and that's what people think are cute. And it's like, no, that's not true. Like you should not be spilling things over yourself. Like that is not like a cute look, you know. So I you have
an absolute point there, and I guess we can get a little more into that in a second after we cover Jang Keun-Suk, who plays Hwang Taek-young. He is our male lead. How do you feel about this guy? I haven't seen this guy in a hot minute.
Yeah, this sounds kind of sad, but like I don't think I've seen any other K-drama that he's in other than this one. I just like, when I first was introduced his character, I just thought he was so mean, and like I feel like he plays it to a T, just like with the smirk and like that kind of like those facial expressions. But I'm happy to hear that he's coming back. I never really got into his character and his the actor himself, but I'm happy to hear that he's still doing it.
Yeah, so he's got a comeback drama which is airing this year, maybe even now. It's called The Bait Part 1 and 2. And it's this comeback drama. He hasn't done anything in like 5 years. Wow. So this is a big deal. And I think for me, I watched him in this, and I watched him in like a couple other things. I think Marry Me Mary in 2010 and Love Rain. Have you seen Love Rain?
I haven't, no.
Okay. So here's the plot of Love Rain really fast.
Okay.
So we're talking in the 70s, a couple, which he plays the male lead in the 70s, and what's her name? The one that can't act from Girls' Generation.
Oh.
Yuna.
Okay.
So it's him and Yuna in the 1970s. They fall in love through circumstances. It's like the one that got away. Now, in the present day, their children fall in love with each other. They're playing the children now. And it's this whole thing of like, will they, won't they get together and act on their feelings because their parents have reconnected in the present day. And it's like taboo because they could be step siblings at this point.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Wow.
So that is the plot of Love Rain. And I was like, this is very melodramatic. I remember vividly watching this and thinking, this is super melodramatic. And I don't really get what the issue is. They're not related, like by any blood at all. And it was frustrating and really weird. And so that was the end of me watching Jang Keun-Suk in anything.
Oh, man.
So, yeah. So when I was looking up dramas that he'd been in, I'd be like, oh, okay, Bellamy, Royal Gambler, some stuff up until 2018. And now his comeback drama. And I thought, let me just look at the comeback drama. If you scroll down to the next page in the doc that's in front of you.
Hello.
I thought the same. I was like, hold on. Maybe the fact that I didn't watch pretty much any of his work had to do with I just didn't find him that attractive, which is really, really shallow of a thing to say. But I just have to say, like, some people have types and some actors just work for some people and some actors just don't. And he was one of those people that never had an appeal for me. And then I saw these screen stills of his latest drama that's coming out this year, and I was like, hold on, maybe he just needs to age a bit and has some facial hair. And I was like, I'm a changed woman. Do I need to watch this K-drama called The Bait? So,
oh my gosh.
Yes.
Okay, I am intrigued. These photos are definitely selling me. So maybe you and I can talk about The Bait.
I'm down. Because I literally was like, hold on a minute, because he just looks like a man, you know? Like maybe it was just he was too clean shaven and he just looked a little glossy, and they gave him these crazy outfits. I mean, talk about the crazy outfits in Just You're Beautiful, this show.
Yeah.
I mean, he's like a freaking citizen of the Capitol here in Hunger Games versus like a real honest to God person. So, you know, seeing him in this getup, I think he's playing a detective in this new show that's coming out this year in 2023. And I was like, hey, I'd like to have a word, because I'm sorry. I apologize for the way that I have treated you all these years. Anyway, so that's our male lead in the show. And then we'll round it out with two people who I'm sure you're familiar with. We have Lee Hoon-ki, aka Jeremy, in the show, and he's from FT Island.
Yes.
And we have Jung Young-hwa as Shin-Woo from CN Blue, which, seeing him on screen again, I was like, ooh, whiplash. Like, what year is it?
I know. It's been a minute.
How do you feel about these guys, and what are some of the other K-dramas that you've seen them in besides You're Beautiful?
Yeah, you know, it's kind of funny. So, like, to, you know, give the context again, I feel like FT Island was like doing their thing, and then CN Blue was kind of like the new boy band of the era. So it was kind of like I don't know, like it was like a good mix of both of them coming together in a K-drama. So it was like, for FT Island fans, aka me at the time, it was kind of like, oh my gosh, new boy band. And then you get introduced to Jung Yeon-hwa, and you're like, okay, I'm on board. Give me their music. Let's go, you know? So both of them, absolutely love them. I think both of them are my favorites in their respective bands as well. Like, I think they're both great, and they're both super talented. And I think the fact that they were band members in this show, it was just like everything you wanted. Like, it was like a fanfic, you know, that it just like got written out by itself. It was so great. But I will say, I actually didn't follow Lee Hoon-gi as much for the rest of his like K-drama stuff. So like, I don't think I've seen too much of his roles. I think I've seen Korean Odyssey, but that was kind of it. But I think Yoonghwa, like, I started watching his K-dramas a lot more after this. So Heartstrings, which came out with Park Shin-hye, kind of was like the second lead love line that should have happened. So I definitely watched that right after. And then, like, I think recently he did Sell Your Haunted House that, like, kind of, like, went in a little bit. But there was also this, like, cooking movie that he was in. It's, like, a Chinese cooking movie.
This sounds so familiar. Yes.
Yeah, like, I don't know. Like, if you go on YouTube, and it's always, like, a popular clip because he plays, like, this really amazing chef, and he does all these crazy chef things. And, like, I don't know. It's actually really, really fun. If I find the name, I'll tell you, and we can post it later. But also a hilarious movie with him in it. But yeah, I feel like both of them, this was like the biggest K-drama I've seen with both of them. And then from there, it was kind of like, you know, small things here and there.
Yeah, so I really liked both of them in 2014 more than I did coming back to it, especially
Yeah.
Jung
Yoonghwa?
Young-hwa. I thought he was a little bit, not a little bit. He was stiff, like as a board
Yeah,
in
yeah.
this show. But him and Heartstrings is a little, I mean, he's still pretty stoic, but a little looser. And I think I stopped watching him in stuff after Marry Him If You Dare. I don't know if you've seen that
I
show.
haven't.
Okay, it's one of the worst K-dramas I've ever seen in my life.
Really?
In my life. It was terrible. It
Oh
was
my
terrible.
gosh.
Don't watch that show. So if you, well, actually watch it and let me know if you agree that it's terrible. It was just horrendously written, and it starred the female lead from Princess Hours. I forget her name.
So familiar.
Yeah, but she was a big name, and then I was like, oh my god, it's her and this guy, and I watched it bad. For Eonki, I watched him in Bride of the Century, which was one of those where he was playing like a chaebol, and then he was going to marry this girl, but then something happened and they had to get a doppelganger to marry him instead. And the doppelganger was, of course, super sweet. And he fell in love with her instead of like the real girl. So that's why it's called like Bride of the Century. Anyway, so loved that show. I thought it was good. And then Modern Farmer, I think he was also playing like a K-pop idol, and then he goes to the countryside for some reason. I didn't finish that when I dropped it. It was like really kind of boring, and I wasn't in the mood for it. But that's pretty much it for these two. And I feel bad that, again, I haven't really watched some of their other stuff. I've heard great things about Sell Your Haunted House, and I've not finished A Korean Odyssey, which is another Hong Sisters drama. I think I dropped that one in like episode 5 or 6. I was like, no.
Yeah.
I think I couldn't get behind Isungi. He was like really mean. I was like,
That
I
seems to be a
get
common
it.
thing in the
Yeah.
Hong sisters. Like really,
You have a
really mean.
really mean male
Yeah.
lead, and she just falls for him anyway, and I was over it. So I thought he was just cruel, so I didn't finish that one. Anyway,
I hear you.
all this to say, we're at the end of this intro bit. Please tell me, what did you in returning to this 2009 show, your first K-drama ever, what did you think? What did you think of You're Beautiful?
Yeah. Man, I totally agree that the timing is so important to understand, because if I were to like rate this in assuming this had come out in 2023, it would be a very different score than what I ever rated it back in 2009. You know, there was just so many things that were like more acceptable, like so many more tropes, and like I guess the general vibe of K-dramas was just so different back then. But I do think just because of how ridiculous the show is, and like even back then it wasn't a very serious K-drama, and I feel like now like looking back, like you don't have to try to think about it in a serious way. I still think it was very enjoyable. Like I overall enjoyed watching it. There's moments where it like got me laughing like out loud, given the fact that there's still so many things I was like, are we really doing this? Like, but like at the same time, it was still really fun. So I'm really happy that you brought up this review, and I think it was a great time to like revisit such an old K-drama and talk about it with you.
Oh, thank you for being game to return to it. I know that if someone asked me to watch my first K-drama again, I'd probably be like, I don't know, are you sure that you want to watch that K-drama? So, but this one happens to be quite iconic. It didn't do well at first, like on broadcast. It had mediocre ratings, but then it gained a cult following when people started watching the drama online. And I was like, oh, I'm one of these people that got the export of this drama. And, you know, had it not been put online and people started raving about it, we probably would just never return to it and wouldn't think anything of it. So it's pretty interesting to think of it that way. It contributes to like the Hallyu wave, you know what I'm saying? For me, I watched it in 2014, and I remember being in my first apartment and watching this at night, and just I remember being confused. You see how my brows are furrowed right now? Like I was watching it like that the whole time, because I was like, do I love it or do I hate it? I can't tell. It's very old, and even in 2014, I thought it looked pretty old and dated. Of course, the production value isn't high like most K-dramas have a high production value today. It's a totally different time period. And again, I think I was a little more forgiving in 2014, where I was like, it is what it is. Like, it's a product of its time, and these tropes are familiar for me, so it's fine. I can dig myself into it a bit. But I do remember laughing at the first episode with Park Shin-hye as a nun, and I was like, what is going on? What is going on? It's so wild. So I think I ended up liking it, and I think I appreciated it more than anything when I finished it in 2014. On rewatch, I was very, how do I put it? It was difficult for me to watch it and finish it. And for some reason, it was putting me to sleep.
Oh, man.
Sometimes these older K-dramas, when I return to them, I'm like, I'm following, hee hee, ha ha. And then I fall asleep. And I'm like, how did I get here? I was fully awake a second ago. And there's something about it. Maybe it's just comforting that I know what's going to happen in a general sense. So I don't need to be, reading everything so intently. But yeah, maybe that's a positive, that it's sort of a shut your brain off and watch kind of show, which a lot of older K-dramas are. They're very, very light on plot. We said this about the Heirs thing too, the Heirs episode, where we were like, what exactly is the plot? Like, I don't think there is one, because it's just kids that hate each other and are rich, and they throw them together in school, and like very minute things are happening to them. And in this case, it feels very similar in that it's small, not giant, big set pieces, and all of this mayhem happening, a lot of moving pieces. It's not like The Glory, and it's not like, Little Women and all these trendy K-dramas that are coming out in recent years, where you're like, this is a plot.
Yeah.
This is not a plot. So I think it was, again, I was struck with this balance of like, it's making me laugh, but at what cost, Yeah,
and for sure.
Really annoyed with the male lead and the female lead, Park Shin-hye. Just not aged well at all. What were some of the things, I'm curious to know, like, that struck you as being woefully outdated more than other things? Like, let's just set aside the fact that it's not filmed particularly well. Their wardrobe is pretty heinous, and the hair is a whole other discussion. What were some of the other things that you felt were really outdated?
Yeah, I would say nowadays, like, there's a lot more character that people put into their K-drama people. Like, it's like, the story, the multi-dimensional character, I feel like is held more, I don't know, people just put a lot more emphasis in that these days. And I feel like the characters in this show are very, very one-dimensional. Like, even like the second lead love lines, like nowadays, there's such strong, compelling reasons for the second leads to have, such a strong attraction towards a female lead. And this one, it was like very minimal. It was like, they like you, period. And so I feel like there's just a lot less fleshing out that happened in this K-drama compared to things now. And I definitely think like, just the way that the male lead treats the female lead, I also feel like that whole dynamic is very outdated as well. Like, it's funny because like Brandon and I kind of watched the first episodes, and Brandon was like, looking back, this is so bad, because I feel like it taught a whole era of Korean men that like you can just be really mean to the girl you like and they'll still like you
and it doesn't matter.
And it doesn't matter. And I'm like, yeah, that's so true. Like, I don't really feel like that still exists in K-drama land. Like, a little bit, right? Just because it's still kind of fun, the enemies to lovers type of vibe. But it's not just so blatantly mean, and like it's like a different level, and they definitely give more backstory for all of that, versus in this one I feel like it was just they struck a chord for like, oh, this is how it's gonna be, and then that was it. And they was just like groveling in angst to get away from that for the rest of the show.
Absolutely. You've touched on some really great things that I'm sure we can go into a little more detail in the spoiler section, but absolutely the lack of character development is ridiculous in this show.
Yeah.
You're just kind of presented with these people. They have really one-dimensional personalities. Jeremy is this bubbly Aekyo like dude who loves his dog Angelina Jolie, and that's pretty much all there is to him. And each one has their own separate personality, and it does feel like, if you gave it a lot of credit, you would think, oh, they're making fun of the sort of roles in K-pop groups where they're like, oh, this is the leader, this is so-and-so, this is the maknae, this is, all of these different, where they try and make them super distinct personality-wise, especially when they go on like talk shows and variety shows, and they're like, well, this one's always got something crazy to say. Like, this one's always the loose cannon. This one's always very serious. It's like, it's a little bit much.
I hear you.
I don't think I can give them that much credit for it, though, for some of these really one-note characters. And the whole thing of, like, the male lead has to be mean, and she's gonna fall for him anyway. I can't get behind that nowadays, and that was something that really bothered me on this rewatch as well.
Yeah. I feel you.
I know. And honestly, we'll get into some more details in a second. I do have a couple of fun facts for you, which I thought I should share. So, did you notice everyone's driving an Audi in the show?
No, that's true. That is true.
I thought it was funny. So I looked it up. Several car companies offered to have their cars used in the drama, including, the German automaker Audi. They introduced their Audi S4 on the miniseries. And I thought this was a little bit odd because the only other time where I'm like, wow, Audis was in Iron Man. And this is literally the year after Iron Man was in theaters.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, not long after, Audi kind of made a global resurgence with the Audi product placement in the Iron Man movie. So it kind of like tracked, but I was like, wow, I've never seen an Audi in another K-drama. It felt a little out of place. I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. Now that you mention it, I don't know. I feel like I don't know. They always do the car product placements in these K-dramas, and I'm not a big car person, so I'm just like, oh, that's a cool car, and then I just focus on something else.
That's a cool car. No, usually I feel like I'm the same way, but then sometimes if I see something that looks unusual in Korea, like obviously if it's a Hyundai, I'm like, okay, yeah, that's a Korean car or something to that effect. But an Audi, I was like, Audi of all things. So that was a little bit it caught my attention. Let's talk about the OST and the music in the show, because this is a big part of this show and this era of K-drama where you had these musical K-dramas like Shut Up Flower Boy Band and this one and oh my god, what was the band? The other Dream High was another one.
Dream High.
There was so many like musical K-dramas back in the day that spoofed the K-pop industry. And for this one, I was like, I think I like the songs. Did you feel the same way?
Oh my gosh. I think I would listen to this OST like casually, like many years, honestly, after I watched this K-drama. That was just like on my, I don't know, iPod shuffle or whatever. Like, quit. Like, I loved this OST. I assumed just because they were, like, this is the era of K-dramas where, like, any moment has an OST associated with it. You know, like, you know exactly how to feel in that moment based off what song's playing. So, like, it was so overdone. But I still think it was, like, it was still so good. Like, it wasn't, like, overplayed. I was just, like, I was feeling it. I love the OST. I think, like, oh, what's the song? Oh, Promise. That's the one with Lee Hong-gi and Yoonhwa. I was like, that was my freaking jam. It was like the perfect combo of FT Island, CM Blue. You know, it was like such a good song. And then obviously the more emotional ones, like without words. And I loved how like the lyrics obviously reflect the, you know, the main lead's feelings. And oh my God, it was so well done. I'm such a sucker for these like old school, like music heavy K-dramas. I feel like they're just, I don't know, they have a special place in my heart. So I absolutely love the OST.
Yeah, I think they kind of fell by the wayside, and now they're making a comeback, and there's way more now than like, ever before. I feel like, what was the one that I watched? And I was like, oh, this isn't so bad, and then I looked online and everyone hated it.
Oh no.
Imitation. Have you seen that one with the
Imitation.
SF9 guys and the guy from UK's?
No, I don't think
Okay,
so. I need
it's
to
got
check
like
it out,
modern
though.
day, not modern day, but like present day K-pop stars in it, and
Oh,
I thought
wow.
it was pretty good. And then everyone was like, "This one sucked," and I was like, "Oh, sorry, I liked it."
Whoops.
Yeah, whoops. Anyway, so that one came to mind, but there's more. There's even more. The concert footage in the show. They actually performed a mini concert, and about 25,000 fans showed up.
Dude, amazing.
I know. And they performed Promise and Still. Jang Keun-Suk also saying Goodbye and What Should I Do? And then Park Shin-Hye sang her character's theme song, Lovely Day. So that's where you got all of that footage that's like interspersed throughout. And oh, we're going to do another showcase. And like this, they
Yeah.
pull from this same concert that they
Got
did.
it.
Yeah. So I found that really fun and interesting that they actually did have all of these people. And I don't know. I like when they do this. It works every time for me, where they have like a bunch of people at a real venue and they're singing the songs and they're actually performing, and it feels very believable. It lends some credibility to the show. So I always like when they do that. Like the movie A Star Is Born does that too. Like they commandeered some country music
Festival for
yeah,
it.
festivals and shows, and then they played like music from the movie. And I think I just recently found out for that one, they didn't end up like broadcasting the song. People just were reacting to silence because they didn't want the songs to get out in the public and have it be circulating online before the movie came out. So I was like, whoa, that's even more awkward. And people were
Yeah.
still vibing, and they were like, oh my God, it's Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga. So I don't think that's what happened here. I think it was just, they were actually playing live. And of course, 2 out of the 3 Angel members are real musicians. So it helps.
No,
It helps.
for sure. And I think it actually added for the scenes that they did show, like at the very, I don't want to say too many spoilers, but then like, there was this one scene toward the end where it was like really important that everyone's reactions were genuine. And I was so happy that they had a real audience, because it made me feel like this is real. These people actually care about the artists, and it just adds to the storyline.
Absolutely. So I think that it's high time that we get into the spoiler section. So if you don't care at all about spoilers, keep listening. Or if you want to watch the show and then come back, you can do that too. But we'll be back right after this.
Excuse me, 뭐라고?
아이, 괜찮아.
You know I have no tingle. Oh, sorry.
Swear, disgusting shit.
All right, so we talked a lot about the music, the OST, the cast, how some of the tropes and some of the portrayals were really dated. But now we're in the spoiler section, and so anything goes. Jenny, did you have a space where you wanted to start here? Or I think maybe because you mentioned the second male lead, and we didn't cover that so much in the non-spoiler section. Let's talk about the other Angel members, Shin-Woo and Jeremy, and how they also just magically fall in love with Park Shin-Hye in the show.
Sounds good. So I will say that the second leads so I feel like this is one of those K-dramas where we actually had 2 second leads, not just the one. So Shin-Woo, I was like really on his train, and like, given the fact that like it was really random the way he started loving her and everything, but like when I first watched it, I was like completely sold. And even the second time around, I was like, okay, fine, like I'll buy it. And I thought that his little date where he's like kind of behind her in Myeongdong the whole time,
This
buying
is
her the
good.
ice cream, I was like, I freaking love you, Shin-Woo. But after that, it just went so downhill, because Mans was like talking in riddles. He was like, oh, there's this one girl that I have feelings for and she doesn't know, and this girl, and I'm like, I was getting so
up?"
frustrated.
I know.
I was like, just give it to her straight, dude. What are you doing? And then, like, you know, he would get upset because she would, like, blow her off because she had no idea what the context was. And then he would just be all, like, pouty by himself. And I'd be like, Shinru, please, like,
Please.
you need to do something. This is getting so frustrated. Like, I want to root for you. You're obviously, you know, a nice guy as opposed to the main lead who's just, like, super mean to her. And, like, I wanted to root for him, but, you know, especially the second time watching it, I was like, at a certain point, I was like, dude, you dug your own grave. Like, you're just gonna have to deal with this. Like, she's not gonna go for you. You're just not communicating, and, like, the reasons for, like, not communicating just don't make enough sense. So sorry, buddy.
The math isn't mathing for Sinu because like, my man's blew like a 30-point lead. He knew she was a girl before Taekyeon did.
Yeah.
And he was very sweet and looked out for her. He had this amazing Myeongdong date, like you said, where he's falling behind her and, like, calling her and saying, like, oh, what do you want to eat for dessert? And it's like, it's super cute. And he just decides to project his feelings onto her and convince himself that she will be receptive to his feelings, and never actually confesses and never gives her a chance to reciprocate or reject him or anything. It's always, like, in the ether, and he's miscommunicating. He's speaking in riddles, like you said. Like, what the hell is the Yoda like thing that he's doing here?
Yeah.
It's very frustrating to watch him get jealous when it can actually be fixed. Like, he can fix the situation quite easily, and he's so confusing. I just don't like how he was like, yeah, he, like, insinuated that he had a girlfriend, and then, oh, come and apologize to my girlfriend for, like, making everyone believe that you're my girlfriend. We had to do this, like, down and dirty when you just almost got found out in the press conference. It was like this whole thing. And he gets upset with her when she stands him up, and he's like, was gonna stand her in front of a mirror and be like, the woman that I want.
So
it's like
cheesy.
you. And I was like, what the hell is this? It is so, she is so stupid, right? Why would he do this when he knows her? He knows that she's clumsy. He knows that she's dense. He knows she's innocent. She's really inexperienced, right?
Yes.
Not just in life, but in romance especially. So, like, what makes him think that he can, like, start getting cute with it?
Yeah.
And she would read it. It doesn't make sense. It's like he blew it. He absolutely blew it. Not that she would have gone with him and it would have worked out. He was very firmly the second male lead, and he didn't necessarily pose any threat to, like, the main couple, but absolutely frustrating to watch him. On the other hand, Jeremy is a delight. I love this character. I think he's adorable. And in some ways, he's, like, a better match for, at least he matches her energy, I would say. Because he's, again, very simple. He's very kind and childlike as well. Likes to have a good time. Always throwing congratulation parties for everybody.
So cute.
He's so cute. And the dog. I mean, how can you say no to the dog? Angelina. Angie. Yeah. So when Jeremy finds out that she actually likes Taekyung, it's a huge blow for him. And he rides his bus, which I love. The bus thing that he introduced to her, because she had a whole, I forget which emotional breakdown that she had, but he was like, look, why don't you come on this bus with me? And he introduces her to his bus, which is an empty bus line that takes about an hour to go its full circuit, the full route. And in that hour, he can cry and he can have this privacy, alone time for him to sort out his feelings. And by the time he gets off the bus an hour later, everything's sorted and he's back to normal, like, quote unquote normal. And it's just this sanctuary for him. And he introduces her to this. It's a great moment when he does that. But then when he finds out that she's dating the other member, he goes on the city bus again. And I love that, like, full circle moment where it's like, why are you on my bus? This is my bus. I had, like, told you about it. Why can't you leave me alone? And she just sits there. There's not much that Park Shin-hye does in that moment, but he does have a really nice moment here. It's a really nice performance where he is distraught. He's crying. He does the broadcast on the phone and sings this children's song. It's very touching, and you feel for the guy.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay, let me talk about Jeremy, because I freaking love Jeremy. I think from the moment that he fell in love with Minyo, right? And he's just like struggling because he's like, this is a man and I'm in love with a man. I guess I'm gay now. Like he's literally like struggling with that. The entire like 10 episodes where he's just like, you know what? Like, I guess if I love him, then I do. Like, it's just like, he's like makes peace with it. Finds out he's a girl. And he's like so happy. He's like, oh my gosh, like I don't have to worry about my sexuality. Like this is a normal romance for me now. Like so happy. And then the city bus scene where Mans breaks down. I remember I was like watching this at night in 2009, and I was like sobbing in front of my desk because I was watching it online, and I was like, I don't know, so young at the time, right? And I was like legitimately crying so hard at that scene with Jeremy in the bus, because I felt for Jeremy more than I did for Shin-Woo for this entire like series. Like I felt like Jeremy deserved just as much love as the second male lead as Shin-Woo did, and he was like always so respectful but also was like very communicative about his emotions. And I was just like, and then when he did his breakdown from such like a happy character to that, I was distraught as a child watching this show. And like even rewatching it, like I was like getting emotional. So like I loved Jeremy as like a second lead. Like the whole thing was just written really well for him.
Yeah, I agree completely. And you touched on something that I forgot to bring up in the non-spoiler section, but holy hell. So let's talk about the queer coding and the fact that these gender benders from back in the day were like the precursor to the BL dramas that we have prevalent today, which are really great. Yeah. And I can't wait to dive deep on some of those. But like, honestly, the fact that Jeremy's questioning his sexuality throughout much of the first half of the show is like a huge deal. And he just comes to terms. He's just like, I guess I just like Minam.
Yeah.
And that's all there is to it. Like he's he's asking some big questions here. None of the other guys are having to deal with this, and he's like one step ahead. Like, do I like guys now? And he's very scared about his growing feelings toward Minam. And when he finds out that she's a girl, he's very relieved because it just kind of confirms that he's not gay. But honestly, he was in that direction anyway. Like he was like, I like this person as a person. Yeah. Period.
It was great. It was very really
refreshing, pretty progressive. And again, a lot of these gender benders have this element to them, like Coffee Prince and Secret Garden and the swaps and things that people. I think the other one, To the Beautiful You, which is the sports romance where she goes and takes her brother's spot in a sports college. I think
same vibe,
same thing. Yeah. And again, I'm not knocking the whole she's going masquerading as her brother, because this is tale as old as time. Okay, Shakespeare did it. 12th Night. All right. It's old. Yeah. Everyone does it, especially with the twins thing. That's straight 12th Night, right? I think that it's fun to go back and think like what were people thinking? How were people maybe feeling about this back in the day? And I think more than anything, it's a way to get some progressive forward thinking in a pill that people can swallow, because Jeremy's a very fun, charismatic character, and he's sitting here like dealing with his feelings, and it's comical. Like people just laugh at it, but in the back of their minds, I mean, they have to be wondering like, oh my God, like, is he? Who knows? Yeah. So it's very interesting. And I don't know if you had any thoughts about some of these storylines that now we don't really have anymore, because we just go straight to the source, which is, BLs and girl love stories as well.
Yeah. No, I think it's super important that they did that, because like, I don't know, like I've never had to go through that myself, right? But I'm sure it is one of those moments where you're like, like you start questioning yourself, and it is like a struggle that you have to go through to like come to terms with it. But I totally agree with Jeremy's character, where he was like, I think they painted him as such like a not like a just like as such a like a happy positive person that it was like he just was able to reach that conclusion. And you know, along the way they obviously painted a lot of more like comical kind of like scenario driven things just to make it more lighthearted. But like at the end of the day, like when he is on the bus the first time with Minam and he's like, for this hour I will just like you, and he like comes to that conclusion and like states it, I was like, that's a big step, you know, like for just this guy to like come to conclusion to. So I do agree. Like I think it's really important that they kind of like touched on some of these like transitioning moments back then. And yeah, I'm sure like we'll see some of that, you know, in today's world as well. But it was cute the way that they had framed it in this K-drama.
Absolutely. I feel like, just last word on it, I just feel like in nowadays not that we'd rather, but the stories are a little more serious in nature, and they're not like rom-com-esque and so light and fluffy. Like consider Itaewon Class, which has a trans character in it, and that was not played for laughs that much in that show at all. It was very much a serious social commentary on Korea and, you know, the state of the LGBTQ community. So it's so interesting to see how just like a few years later we're getting these kind of stories versus Jeremy and his struggle in the first 10 episodes paired with all of the other hijinks that happens with these characters. You have this one light, cute character. People love him as it is. And he's got this little struggle that he's dealing with, which is actually pretty important.
For sure.
So I like that.
I think the last thing I want to say on the second leads is I will say I was really disappointed at the very end that we didn't get like a reunion between Minam, you know, Minyo and the second leads. Like it was literally like, I mean, the last episode was basically everyone telling Taekyung like, hey, figure it out, buddy. Like you gotta just put your pride aside and get it, right? But at the very end, like we get like the big grand gesture between the main love line, but then like I feel like there's a lot of friendships along the way between Minam and the second two guys, and it just sucked that like we never really saw that part of it. And I was like, oh, I would have loved to just see them all actually still be friends, because they spent a lot of time together, and sure there was like these romantic feelings, but I still feel like there was a lot of friendship things that was going on too. So I wish that I had gotten that at the end.
You make an excellent point that the ending doesn't really bother with wrapping up her friendship with the other Angel members, the other secondary leads, and it's a bit of a shame because it isn't just about the romance, like you said. It is about the friendship that she forged with them and how they came to truly care for her. We do get, like, even in other, like, Boys Over Flowers, we get an ending with all F4 and Kumjendi, and it's like, okay, we know what happens to all of them. We know how her relationship is with all of the members still.
Yeah.
And we don't get this kind of moment with her and the boys. We just get it with her and Taekyung.
Yeah.
Which is a bit, I mean, yeah, it's a quibble, but I agree with it completely. Let's talk about the male lead. So we already said that he's like mean, he's a prickly personality, and she is very childlike, as we said before. And what does this say? Like, we talked about this briefly in the Mr. Sunshine episode, where what does it say that is it subscribing to some sort of like purity concept in the Korean society where you have these very childlike, aegyo, inexperienced, obviously virginal female leads, and then you have these really mean, grumpy male leads, and they do everything wrong, they make every mistake, they say all the wrong words, and they still end up together. So I don't know, I think it's the same thing. Like, Mr. Sunshine's way more recent, but you know, that was also with the added bonus of he's much older than her, there's a giant age gap, and the female lead is much younger, she's in her 20s. So I don't know. In this case, they take it a step further because she's a nun. and like training to be a nun.
Right.
And it's very much the Sound of Music all over again,
Oh,
where
yeah.
she's catching feelings. She doesn't know what to do. She's scared. And she's doing all these really crazy, ridiculous things. She's doing the pig face thing.
Oh my gosh, the pig face.
I was over it. The second time she did it. I was like,
Oh
we're
my
done.
gosh, I agree.
This is too much. Every time.
It's not cute anymore.
It's
like,
not
I'm
cute.
sorry. No, I feel you. I think, like, I don't know. This is like a common trope, especially that was like bigger, I think, before, like back then with like earlier K-dramas. I will say they always try to redeem the male lead in some way, and sometimes they succeed, but like most of the time they don't. Like, like, I'm sorry, Taekyung, I'm like, sorry, you have really bad mommy issues. Like, she seems like a really terrible person, but like it also doesn't justify like one bad thing happening in your past for you to be just an asshole for the rest of your life, you know? Like, ooh, that's like
preach.
I just feel like they always try to do that with the male leads. And like, I don't know, probably when I was younger and when I was first watching this, I bought it. I was like, yeah, you know, sad boys can do bad things. But like, now that I'm older, it's like, no, like, you gotta, like, if you have problems, go find help. Like, don't take it out on this innocent female who's just trying to be nice to you. And like, the thing that's like frustrating is like, Minam is always so nice. And even when she does the nicest things, I feel like Taekyung is like really rude about it. Like, there was a scene where like on his birthday, you know, he's like, he has this whole confrontation with the mom forgets it's his birthday, so he goes back to the recording studio and he's like really sad. She sees it and she's literally like running to the convenience store trying to like buy him water, replace the lights, and doing like the nicest things for this guy. And literally he confronts her and he's like, did you cause another problem again, or you know, something along those lines. And I was like, like, really, you know, just like be nice. And they try to show the kind side of him, and I get that that's what the drama writers, and you know, they tried to make it seem like he's a nice guy with a bad boy like outside. But like sometimes it doesn't fly after like that many episodes, you know. And like, I don't know, going back, like I feel like the rough like exterior, like sometimes you just need to drop that earlier on and not at the very last episode for us to then be like, okay, we're like rooting for the couple. So I don't know, that was always like a weird part. Like, even when I first watched it to now like rewatching, I feel like the main lead couple romance was always like a little bit like hard to swallow because of how prickly he can be.
Yeah, he's super unpleasant. He's rude. He's constantly making Moeka, like, he's always like, why is he always doing that face?
Oh my god.
The pouty face, the angry pouty face. He's not nice, and there's no reason for her to like him, to fall for him. Again, I think that the fact that it's written by a woman is really annoying to me. Two women, right? Is that they're perpetuating this trope, this cliche that she's just gonna fall for him no matter what, and I don't see why. I don't really care about his mommy issues and the entire backstory. The fact that the Hong sisters tried to get us to believe that maybe they were siblings. Oh my gosh. Ridiculous. Get out with that nonsense, which we had way more of that back in the day, where it's like, oh, they kind of fall for each other, and then it's like, hold the phone, they might be siblings.
I don't understand why they need to do this to us emotionally. Like, now I just feel icky about it for
icky.
5 episodes, and I'm like, I don't need to feel this way. Like, stop trying to make them related. I hated that trope. I still
so
do.
Gross.
Just hate it.
Yeah. So things like that, and then it just got even more complicated, the backstory. I don't care. So the fact that he can't work out his trauma is very frustrating to me, because it's not like she doesn't have trauma. She has trauma, but she's not a dick. Yeah. So I don't get why it's okay for him and not okay for her. Something else that made me upset was that she was, I don't know what the word is, but she was always putting herself down. And she was like, oh, yeah, I won't be a bother. Don't worry. I'll stay away from you. I'm not going to cause any issues. I'm sorry. And he was very arrogant and prideful and wouldn't apologize when he knew he did something wrong or said something mean. And it was just him doing very tiny gestures to try and make up for it or show the audience that he cares. And again, it's not enough. It's really toxic, and I don't like how she is constantly trying to make up for wrongs that she didn't do.
I hear you.
And yes, she's clumsy, but like if you spill a glass of water, like there's no, like what else do you want her to do? She's gonna clean it up and say sorry, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But it was on an endless loop throughout the show, and you know, I think we challenge shows more than this now, right? We don't kind of let this be the end all be all of a show. And again, that's the problem, I guess, with the show, is that there's not much plot. And this is like the conflict is them just having these little arguments and little things. And she's constantly losing things and finding things, like the hair clip thing.
Oh my God, the hair clip. At the like third time or whatever she loses that hair clip, I was like, girl, just throw it away. Like, I don't
Just throw it out.
We are over the hair clip now, you know? Like, and I totally agree with you where it's like, I feel like she has a lot of like self-esteem issues, right? And I'm sure it's just, she has like a pretty rough past, so like maybe that's what feeds into it. But like, it does suck that he never really brings her up, you know? And it's just like, I agree, nowadays like we challenge these things a lot more. And like probably back then when we watched it, it was like fine, this was just normal, like you didn't think about it. But yeah, like looking at this the second time, it's like, just because you make a really cute stuffed doll with like a pig nose on a rabbit and stuff like that doesn't mean that you're actually being kind to her, you know? Right. Like, it's like we as viewers can see you care, but like you need to be better about communicating that, because this is not the right way to handle relationships. So I totally get you. Like she is very down on herself, and like everyone around her preys on that, and it is pretty toxic. Like even like the quote unquote good people, like the manager guy, you know, he's like using that to his advantage. I mean, obviously the actress Hye, she's like, you know, she's just freaking poking holes all up in her self-esteem, and we can get into them later. But like, yeah, it sucks that even the main love line, the male lead, just doesn't seem to really help her self-esteem and lift her up. It's just, you know, all this back and forth of like favors and, you know, that kind of stuff, which is not the best way to start a relationship, but I guess it worked for them. So yeah. Speaking
of their relationship, what did you think of the overuse of the star analogy?
Oh my gosh, the star. Okay, you're gonna hate me for this, but I kind of loved it.
Oh my God.
It's so cheesy, but it was perfect for that time, you know? Like, oh, I hated it, but I loved it. You know what I mean? It was like so overused. It was so like gross at a certain point where you're like, really? Like, I can't see you in the dark. I can see you in the light. Like all of those. It's so overdone, but I don't know, man. The 09 K-dramas, like these overused tropes, like I kind of... The cheesy side of me is like, ooh, I love it. The ooey gooey, like just like let's love each other like we're stars, and the star necklace, and you're my star, you're my fan.
Oh God.
I don't know. I kind of loved it. I'm sorry.
I think I loved it when they first did it, which I think was in episode 7. They get lost in the woods or something at night. He has night blindness, which LOL. So I guess he has one weakness. One weakness. He has night blindness. And he can only see the moon. She calls the moon a star, and then he corrects her, which is like, again, like, just shut up. Like, don't have to correct her every time she says something slightly wrong. She says even if the moon is not a star, the moon is useful. She ends up saying, then I'm like the moon that's just clinging to you, who is like the sun. And he says, the moon isn't useless. No matter how many other stars there are at night, all I can see is the moon. Which is like, it's very swoon-worthy. Basically, he's saying, all I see is you, which is fine. Then they beat a freaking dead horse with this star analogy over and over and over and over. Oh, I can't see my star. Oh, I'm unable to see my star right now. Oh, my star is shining so bright. I'm like, shut up. Oh my God, I hated it. Because they overdid it. Like, to be quite honest with you, if they had just referred to it one or two more times at really good points throughout the rest of the show, I would have been totally fine with it. But the fact that it was like every episode she's referring to him as a star. He's referring to her as the star, the moon, the sun, whatever. And I could not deal with it. I was very... I mean, maybe I'm just colder now than I was in 2014, but I was like, oh my God, it's too much.
I get you. No, like, I totally understand where you're coming from. I agree that it was 100% overdone, but I feel like the '09 K-drama, things are just overdone. From the acting to the OSTs to these cheesy tropes. Like, everything is so over the top, overdone. And that's what, like, I don't know, gave it a certain charm. And I feel like I totally understand now. You're like, oh my God, this is so much. But I think in that time, it was okay. And that was like, you know, part of the reason why people love the K-dramas, because it was so much. It was just so over the top. So I don't know. I feel like it's a you know, it's relative now to like look at these things.
Speaking of relative, let's talk about his mom, because she is definitely a villain of the show. And what the hell's going on with her? I just thought I haven't seen, so that's the same mom from The Heirs.
Okay.
And I was like, she's actually the worst mom ever. She abandons her child, really kind of loathes her son, and was obsessed with this songwriter who she sang his song once, and now she's kind of on the downhill trend for popularity, and she wants to redo the song. She's trying to like pigeonhole her son into producing the song, and like I do not give a shit. And then at the end we find out she's completely delusional, because she stole the song, bought the song from under Min-yeol's mom, and who's an up-and-coming singer, and like recorded the song, believed her own bullshit that the song was written for her. The songwriter, Min-yeol's dad, wanted to get back with her, and it's like, what is this? It's really messy. It's really messy.
I genuinely just disliked her character from the beginning to the end. Like, she had no redemption arc. Like, none of her reasonings made me feel bad for her. Like, just not. She was so. She was just such a villain. And like, to be honest, I didn't know why her storyline kept coming up. Like, literally, I would be like all on the A.N.JELL train, you know, about the love line, and then we go to like the mom, and I'd be like, ugh. Like, why are we here? Why are we talking about her? The mom and the aunt. Them two in a room together would just give me so much anxiety. Like, I do not want to see either of you two on the screen right now. Like, give me back my people, you know? And so I just didn't know where they were going to do with their storyline. I guess at the very end, you know, her whole situation with Minam's dad and like all that, like that was what broke the main couple up. So I was like, okay, I guess that's why she was a focus even at all for this show. But yeah, I totally agree with you. I was like, I do not care about all of your just delusional love things in your head. Like, you're a terrible person for abandoning your son in the hospital. You're a terrible person for like stealing music and like, you know, trying to tell yourself that it was for you. And like, all of her scenes were just such downers. She was just drinking and sad and manipulating people like the entire time. And I was like, girl, get off the screen. Like, I do not care about you.
Get off the screen. Yeah, she was super self-destructive, a terrible mom. And so here's the thing. I don't mind when moms are flawed. People are human. That's fine. This lady didn't even try. Okay.
Yeah. Just terrible.
Did not even try. And the flashback that Taekyung has as a child, like he was eating with his mom out in a restaurant, and she's like, don't make trouble for me, and makes him eat shellfish, shrimp, and she doesn't remember that he's severely allergic, so he just downs the shrimp anyway, trying to not make waves, and he starts like having an allergic reaction, starts coughing and like breathing heavily, and she's just like, don't make trouble for me, go to the bathroom quietly. And he has like I don't even know what he did to end the attack that he was having, but this flashback scene was like very telling and super heartbreaking. And yeah, obviously he'd have trauma. Yes, he has abandonment issues. Yes, he has mommy issues as a result of this terrible woman. But like, do I really feel for her at any point? No. Do I feel for the aunt? at any point. Minyo's aunt, who comes to live with the boys and then leaves and tries to get the money out of the royalties for the song that they're shut up. Shut up. I don't care.
Agreed.
Okay, so let's start talking about Hae, who I think is a actress, and she starts causing a lot of issues and trouble. She thinks she's the second female lead. She's not. Like, she's
okay. Yeah, homegirl is also so delusional, and she's just like mean for no reason. And like, I hate that she was a villain, because I feel like Minam or Minyo, like, she should not have given this random lady so much power over her, where it just is causing all these problems. And at the end of the day, I feel like Hae did not like suffer as much as I thought she would. She's like friends with fucking Minam now, and I'm like, what? Like, this is so bizarre to me. Like, I don't know, her thing just really irked me.
No, it irks me too, because she's smart. She's very quick, intelligent, she's intuitive, and she figures everything out really early, and she's manipulative, but like, you gotta give her props, because she's getting info where other people were like, they weren't gonna give her anything, and she was pretending to know the secret, and then she figures it out. Honestly, very admirable qualities, like in any person. Like, she's very resourceful. She uses her powers for evil, and she's constantly bullying Minyo and manipulating her. And Minyo's like, she has no powers. She has no way to retaliate or, outthink like Hae. So it's very frustrating to watch her, because it's like a cat playing with a mouse. You're like, okay, the mouse is never gonna get away here.
Yeah, for sure. And I just feel like so much of the plot moving forward is driven by just how mean Hae is, and I just don't love that. Like I think we touched on this earlier with the character development, right? But like, people aren't making decisions because they're getting different or becoming better as characters. They're making decisions because some really mean actress lady is forcing you to do certain things. And I just I hated that she was just this overused plot device, like, over and over and over again. Like, the reason why the boys find out that Minam's a girl, like, that's because of Hae, and like, every single step of the way, it's just Hae in the background being like, ooh, let me make this happen. And like, she even, when she dumped water on Minam on the stage,
the Carrie moment,
oh my gosh, I just that whole thing, I was just like, why is Hae behind all of this? Like, I just really disliked her as a villain. And like, I totally give it to her, though. You're totally right, where she is smart and resourceful, and she's like the only person that is not, who's like figuring things out. But like, just frustrating that she's just such a one-dimensional villain. We don't even get a reason why. Like, I don't even know why she really came into the picture, other than the fact that like, she just didn't like how Taekyun like treated her, maybe, and then suddenly fell in love with him too. Like, it was just very bizarre.
What I thought was funny was that she believed her own hype. Like, they were like, they say we're a great couple.
Oh my gosh, yes.
So like, we should be a great couple. And I'm like, lady, what are you doing? Like, she's believing the headlines and her own hype, which is rather stupid. Like, in the grand scheme of things, like, we were just like hyping up her intelligence, and like, she's over here just kind of like, I have this great guy, and you're like, no, like, it's a fake relationship, fake dating trope, and she's believing that she can make it real, and it's quite sad to see her just sort of bang her head against the wall and torture Minyo and torture the guys, torture Taekyung, because Taekyung clearly like wants nothing to do with her, and she's inviting herself over and having them make her lunch, and different photo shoots. She invites herself on things, and they're like, what are you doing here?
Yeah, like, leave us alone.
It's
like,
pathetic.
Geez.
She's pathetic. Like, ultimately, I can't stand when I can see her doing it a couple times. It was throughout like the show. She didn't learn any lessons. She didn't have any sort of reckoning at the end. I think her redemptive arc is that she doesn't tell the reporter the truth and say, Minyo is Minam.
Yeah.
She's playing her brother. Which I guess it's like the bare minimum, right? Like, don't say anything. But then she sort of gives it away as well when she like pretends to faint. And the reporter's like, just nod if you think that. Like, I'm like, oh my God. So she sort of gives it away and then she tries to warn them. So that was her redemptive arc. That was pretty much it for her.
Yeah.
And then Minam, the real Minam, has a crush on her, evidently.
Oh my gosh. I was so frustrated. I was like, okay, first of all, like connect with your sister or maybe just download about how terrible this lady is before you're even like, I don't know, like buddy with her. Like, oh, so bizarre. I just, yeah.
Do you know,
was upset by that.
something else that was really bothersome to me is the fact that the twins do not in any way, shape, or form seem like siblings to me. They don't know anything about each other. She had no clue at all that her brother was trying to be a K-pop star, trying to get into this company, and was like, she had no idea.
Yeah.
And then vice versa, when the guy comes back, her brother comes back, evidently they have no conversation, no contact. She's missing in action. The boys don't know where she is. The brother doesn't give a shit, evidently.
Yeah, seriously.
I'm like, what kind of family is this? They're all they have. They have nobody else, no other family. The aunt sucks, and that's it. They don't have mom. They don't have a dad. They grew up in an orphanage. I don't understand this relationship. So I don't know if you had any feelings toward that. I have a little sister, and I'm like, we're constantly texting like, hey, I'm at Publix. Do you need anything? Like, you know what I'm saying?
No, for sure. It's just there's so much like I think at the very beginning they tried to establish the Mina-Minyo relationship. Like they were both on the carousel and the kids were all bullying them. And then they were like, you know, Minam's like, oh, find her parents or something like that. And I was like, okay, so they have a relationship. And then from there on, it was just like absolute nothing about
Radio
the brotherly
silence.
relationship. Like also like, yeah, I get that he's in the US and he's recovering from surgery, but like, would you guys not like message each other? Like,
Yes.
do you not have phones? Like maybe talk, like have a heart to heart to be like, you know, this is tough for me. Like, do you really want this? Like something to give us something for that relationship. And it was just like nothing. And I honestly, I will say when I watched the show, like I took it at face value the first time around because I was like, you know, it's just such an afterthought. And it's like you're just so focused on Minyo's life and inside of A.N.JELL that you're not even thinking about what the real Minam is doing, right? But like, now the second time watching it, it's just so bizarre, especially with the ending where you're just like, but like the brother's getting with the person who is so mean to his sister the whole time. Like it's like, what?
Yes.
Like what is this relationship? It's
This could have easily been solved when Minyo was like, hey, that bitch was a bitch to me.
Yeah.
Don't date her.
Exactly.
Don't even look at her.
Yeah. She's
One
rude as
sentence
hell.
and he'll be like, oh, really? Word. Okay, never mind. That's all it takes. She doesn't have to even go into detail and be like, she did XYZ to me. She threw some water on me. She stole my hair clip. She blah, blah. No, she doesn't need to go into even that much detail.
Yeah.
She just needs to be like, stay away from that hoe. And that's it. Like
that would have been enough.
That
I
would
would
have
have
been
been
enough.
okay. Oh, yeah, so weird. And plus, like, I feel like with Minam, like the real Minam, we never really get much of like how he integrated into the group. Because, like, I bet that was so freaking weird for him too, right? Because it's like they went
Yes.
from having Minyo, like pretending to be him, to now
Yes.
actually having the real guy. And it would have been like, I would have thought there would have been some fun moments there where it could have been like, you know, like integration and like, are they even friends?
Yeah.
Like, did they get along at the end? You know, like, how did that all go? But like, nothing there.
it's missing content. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, how is it 16 episodes and then they get to the end and you're like, but wait, what happened to like, how did we get here? And it could have been as easy as now they have Minam, the real guy, and the three of them are trying to like suss him out and they offer him water, hot tea, or juice all over again. The same thing that they did to Minyo. And he chooses soda or like something off the wall, not even an option. He's not even picking sides between the three guys. And they're like, oh, that alone would lend a lot of like fill in the gaps. You know what I'm saying? Between, okay, Minyo left to find herself, figure out her feelings, heal, whatever. And now they have a brand new member that they have to establish rapport with.
Yeah.
It's like, how do we get to the end of the show? So
I hear
it's not done well.
I think like back then also, I feel like the end episode was never really a big focus, you know? Like I feel like this is common for a lot of older K-dramas where it's like the angst and all that is like the big focus. And then to the end, it's kind of like, okay, we're writing everyone off, like put a bow on it, tie it up, like send it out, you know, and that's it. And I feel like nowadays, especially like, I know like we're super critical of it on Post Playlist, but I feel like I'm sure you are as well on your K-drama reviews. But like the ending is so important because that's like the last impression you're left when you watch a K-drama. And I feel like with Your Beautiful, like I you know, first time watching it, I loved it, and then the ending even then felt like really sudden for me. I was like, oh, okay, I guess it's just done now. And I feel like nowadays there's a lot more emphasis on that versus back then. Like that was almost normal. Like people didn't like. Shows didn't do badly because the ending was bad, you know?
Great observation.
Yeah.
That's a fantastic observation. It was more about the journey than the destination. And people were like, I want the wedding. I want this. I want that. And it's like, you know, back then that wasn't a focus. They weren't. People were already going to show. If the ratings were high, people were already going to show up for the finale. They didn't need to do anything special to foster more word of mouth or, you know, get people now there's an international audience. There wasn't really an international audience outside of East Asia in 2009. So, you know what I'm saying? Like they're thinking about different things now and different audiences. And you're absolutely right that like the closing episode wasn't a thing.
Yeah. I also feel like now, because like back then, like, you know, you watch stuff on TV or, you know, as they came out versus now it's like, you know, streaming culture. Like that's where everyone watches K-dramas outside of, you know, Korea. You know, everyone watches it on a streaming platform, and like rewatchability is something I feel like people do think about now more so maybe than before, because what before was like, it's on TV, it's done, you know, the ratings are good. Okay, like period, end of story. Versus now it's like, can we keep people like, you know, interested in these shows? Can we do multiple seasons now too? Like it's like a different focus. So I don't know, just 100%. a different like things that people care about these days.
Yeah, can we sell it overseas? Can it go on Netflix? Can it go here? And that's, I don't know if I necessarily agree with that either, but there is like a point to be made. Like this is, they were focused on different things back then, and this was largely for the Korean audience. And maybe like the Korean audience just didn't like, they were like, I just want them to get back together, and that's that. Yeah. Not that it has to be this like grand gesture and have all of these points that needed to be checked off at the end, like we feel today. You know, speaking on that, I feel like I didn't remember the ending as much as I remembered other things in the show. Yeah, you know, like the performances, like some of the photo shoots I remembered. I remembered the final episode, I think, where they're like, oh, Minam's missing. He's in whatever city. He's not going to make it back. The company president demands to see him because he's feeling some type of way. He's very suspicious that they're pulling a fast one on him or something. So we need you to be Minam again. And I'm like, oh, I remember this whole thing. She gets drunk and Taekyung recognizes her and takes her home. And it's like, I remember that scene. I remember her like slumping over on his lap, and he's like, he like realizes, oh, it's
he's like, oh my God, it's her.
Yeah, it's her. Oh my God. Because she was missing all this time. All that stuff. I remember her seeing Mother Superior a bunch, and like, I don't know why she kept praying to Mother Superior, and I'm like, but is that even a thing? I don't know. I'm not Catholic, so I was like, that seems a little wrong, isn't it? Mother, like Mary? I don't not know. Mother. Why is she praying to the Mother Superior?
I feel like she was like trying to talk to the Mother Superior, like as in like, give me advice, you know?
Yes.
Like, you know what I mean? It's kind of like, I don't know. I guess Mother Superior is kind of like her mom in this situation because she was raised like there. But I don't know. Agreed. True. Like there were definitely things that stood out more so than the very end. And I think it was just, for me, it was more the comedy scenes that really, really made this show great for me. like the random
Yes.
like remake, just they did so much like of the side scenes, I don't know how to
Yes.
explain it well, but like for example, every time Jeremy, like, his imagination runs wild, I think it's
Yes.
so funny to watch the actors like act so like dramatically, for the sake of his imagination. Or they also did a bunch of like parodies too, which I think at the
Yes.
time it was so fun. I feel like around that era, parodies are such a big thing. Like, just everyone was doing parodies of famous movies, famous scenes, famous commercials, even, and I feel like they integrated a lot of those into the K-drama. So, like, I actually remember a lot of those parodies more so than, like, some of the drama scenes, because they were just, like, shot so funny in a way. And I love that.
I agree. And that was some of the best stuff, was the comedy bits and the parodies, the spoofs. The fact that I mentioned this earlier about the Hong sisters sort of subverting expectations and tropes. I think in episode 1 she gets drunk and you think that she falls on Taekyung and you think that they kissed. They didn't. She vomited in his
Oh my
mouth.
God, that was
So that's
gross.
like a subversion, right? You think, they smashed lips together and they're embarrassed because of that. No, she's mortified because she vomited in his mouth. So that's like a subversion of the trope.
Yeah.
I like they go into the showers on the second floor of the building at some point, and she just finished up a shower, but she sees them naked. And they cover the modesty clouds that they put on
my
all of the
gosh.
guys.
So funny.
I was dying. Yeah. And she envisions them as like little cherubs, and then they turn into like children, and that helps her like get out of the situation. She's just like taking herself out of it mentally.
Yeah.
Let me see. They lock up in one of these, like, I don't know how to describe it, but you were talking about it, where they have like an imaginary scenario. And they film it, and it's a parody, and they did a parody of Old Boy.
Oh my gosh, the
Do you
dumplings
remember?
and stuff. I was like, are you really doing this right now? It was so funny. That one really stood out to me too.
Yeah.
Oh, the old boy dumpling scene is iconic.
Yes. I think oh my God, she gets stuck on the top of a moving truck at one point.
Oh my
they
gosh,
like they have
yes.
she like tosses the phone or something and it lands on top of the truck. She goes to get it and passes it back to Taekyon, and then the truck starts moving and she's like holding on.
Oh my
he doesn't
gosh.
notice. And that's like really funny comedy. It's slapstick, right? Slapstick comedy. That kind of stuff we don't get. Like, that feels very old school K-drama to have like a screwball comedy.
Yeah.
Yes, there's hijinks in K-dramas all the time, especially with the light rom-coms, but this type of like outrageous, outlandish stuff happening is really kind of old school, and it's nice to see and nice to return to. So
yeah, I miss it. Like, honestly, like when I was younger, I feel like that's what I loved about these like rom-coms, because the comedy was so like out there in a dumb way, but it just made you really laugh. And now, like, I don't know, even the rom-coms, like, I feel like there's not too many crazy comedy moments like that. And it's like I kind of miss it, because it made things feel unserious. And versus now, it's like everything is so serious, and the little bits of comedy don't I don't know, like over.
yeah.
Oh gosh, what word am I looking for? Like, it doesn't like
They're a little more
counteract it.
highbrow.
Yeah,
like, it's a little more
exactly.
highbrow versus this is lowbrow. What was it? One time she's sleeping in the same room, and the manager gives her a taser gun. He's like, and if he tries anything, if he looks at you a certain way, just like tase him.
Yeah.
So she manages to tase herself.
Oh, girl.
And collapses on top of him. And she sleeps on top of him the rest of the night. But the fact that she manages to tase herself
Insanity.
is like, you would never see that in a K-drama made in 2023 or recently. So
yeah, I hear you.
It's a lot. It's so much.
So much. So much. But it's what makes these dramas good. And I feel like, going back to the characters too, it's like if the main female lead was not so clumsy and just like oftentimes frustrating to watch. Like I feel like they couldn't get away with some of these really dumb kind of comedy moments, like the tasing or like the going on a moving car. Like those things wouldn't have stuck because like you'd been like, why would a normal person have done something like that? But because she's the way she is in this character, like it does help lend to that comedy aspect.
Yeah. So some other comedy that it sort of delves into comedy, but it's the portrayal of like the K-idol industry in general, because I feel like they're definitely talking about specific, like it's a specific culture that they're talking about in the show. And this was 2009. I don't feel like much has really changed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, they touch on it a lot. And I guess like in this show, A.N.JELL is kind of like a more established group now. So they're not like kind of the rookie. Like they're like big in Korea, right? And so they talk about a lot of things they had to do as rookies, like the really dumb reality TV shows that they had to do. And like, you know, the radish eating scene, which is also so ridiculous. But like, I don't know. I just think it was interesting, especially the second time watching this, where I caught a lot of those moments versus, you know, the first time I feel like it kind of went over my head, but I was like, wow, you know, they are really talking about the things that these idol trainees have to do in order to promote their group, in order to like make it big in this world. And plus I feel like some of the things that they mentioned that were kind of just in passing just felt really like exploitative in a way. Like there was like the whole sticker thing. I don't know if you remember, but it was like they go into a shop on Taekyun's birthday and they're like, oh, there's these stickers, and like the group had like no idea that that was a thing. And I was like, they're like, this is literally your image, you know, like it's just kind of like subtly in the background that it was like, oh, they're just kind of taking advantage of your idol image, and like you don't really know what is being passed around to the fans and to everyone else. And then even like the whole reason why Minyo had to step in to pretend to be Minam was because the manager told Minam to get eye surgery, and I was like I was like, okay, like we just really brushed over that, right? Because it's like, oh yeah, that's fine. But like now watching it again, I was like, dude, that's kind of messed up. Like I get that that's the industry and maybe that's what people have to go through, but it's like, man, like you have to get surgery just to do it like that. I don't know. It just doesn't sit right with me the second time watching it. And I feel like it was just so different back then that I didn't even think about it. But now I'm like, man, that's not cool.
Absolutely. And they play it for laughs because the manager's like, I just told him to get a little work done before he signed the contract. And now he's sleeping like this and he does like he crosses his eyes. And I'm like, what kind of surgery? Where did they take it? Was this a back alley plastic surgery that they had? Because Korea's like the plastic surgery capital of the world. So it makes no sense that his surgery was botched to that effect. And then he had to go to the US so that they could fix it and he could recover.
Weird.
I was like, none of this makes any sense. But yeah, absolutely. The underlying like thesis is that they all have to change and get plastic surgery to look a certain way to appeal to a certain audience, and that's just normal. That's not asking a lot of these people. That's just bare minimum, is that they need to look their best. They need to have the double eyelid surgery. They need to have a nose job. They need to have their face shaven. They need to you know, work out and look good. And it's like very problematic, yes, even though like it's a cycle and we feed into it and whatever. And talking about we like fans in general, the fans that are camped out outside the company at all hours. I remember watching in 2014 and thinking, what are they doing? I don't understand why they're just outside all the time. Are these students? Like I had all these questions. Now I understand that this is a take on like the Sasang fans who are constantly following around their idols to the detriment and like security hazard of their favorite idols. So it's very problematic, and the way that like the media is portrayed as well is very toxic and weird. And the paparazzi it's not just like the paparazzi's following them around. It's like they're writing incendiary like gossip about them, and it's affecting their lives, their careers, and they have to like play along, and the fake dating thing, and I mean all of it is not wrong. Like they're still not, it's not inaccurate to have all of these things going on in the periphery for Angel. So it's sad. It's really
it
sad.
really is. And like even the fan thing, you know, I would have loved to see the fandom been more toxic almost. Like if we could have invited them to be more of the villain roles, I feel like that could have been really fun as well. Because like, I don't know, like I've heard news articles of just like really bad, crazy fans out there who are doing like just dangerous stuff. Like I don't know, like I don't want to get into specific examples, but like even recently, like there was like an article that came out about BTS member Jin. He's like in the army, and then like a nurse like and the army left her post to, like give him a vaccine. Like that kind of stuff is like insane, you know? Yeah, like it's like these fans are, I don't even know if she's like a fan or if she's just like somebody who wanted to get involved. But anyways, going back to this K-drama, it would have been fun to see some of those like A.N.JELL fans like really get involved and like make things messy for the members. You know, they could have been a more fun villain than just kind of reusing Hei for everything, at least in the beginning. Like that would have been a cool angle, you know?
Absolutely. Because there's endless horror stories that are true about these terrible, like I can't even call them fans. Like they're not fans at that point.
Yeah.
And the BTS thing, I think, what was it? A train operator or somebody employed by the train company was giving out when RM was taking the train and would tell their friends like which seat he was in so that they could sit next to him or close to him. Yeah. And Jungkook just said something too about like, stop sending me food. Yeah. Because they know his address and kept sending him food.
Yeah. And he's like, I
what
literally
the
cannot
fuck?
eat it. And I'm like, yeah, like you can't eat stuff like that. Like you don't know what they put into that food, you know?
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah. I don't know. There's like, I've seen a lot of just like rumors about that specific that girl who like sent him the food. Like she's like kind of crazy. Like she's
like this isn't okay.
It's insane. And I think that would have been fun to explore it, you know, in this K-drama context, because he had all the characters ready, but like they didn't do too many bad things other than just like, you know, quote unquote defend their oppas when like bad things happened. But like it would have been fun to see like some of the crazier sides of those fans. That would have been interesting.
Absolutely. So one of the last things that I have in my notes has to do with this cliche that is in K-drama, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I don't think it worked here. So in episode 15, they break up. Yes. Right? She was like planning to leave after the Japan trip, and Taekyung didn't know, and then he goes to see her back in Japan. Like he just makes that trip like 2 or 3 times. I don't even know.
Just makes it happen.
Yeah. But he is like, he's very sad. The whole scene is very angsty. And to me, I don't even get why she has to leave. Like in this case, it didn't make much sense to me. It's not that the usual case is, they have to realize their feelings to get back together. They know their feelings. They know that they like each other. It's just that she needs time to heal, and that he's been very selfish, and the birth secrets got all intertwined. Yeah. His mom is terrible. She hates his mom. Yeah. She's very emotional, and Taekyung just needs to respect her pain as she gets through this. And I don't like this sins of the father shit where they didn't make the same exact mistakes as their parents did, but they had to deal with the fallout of the first generation's trauma. So essentially generational trauma in a K-drama sense. And I don't stand by that. Like in the writing of it, I just was like, I don't get it. Like she doesn't need to disappear. Yeah. She could just be like, look, I'm going to go to Fiji for, I don't know how long. I'll let you know when I get back. Yeah. It doesn't need to be this whole like mysterious thing, and like the whole like you see him grabbing her hand and they separate and it's like this. I'm so like, okay, yeah. Like, how do you feel about that sort of thing happening in the very last episodes, usually of a K-drama? I think this one was like, annoying.
I think that it should have happened earlier if it was gonna happen. I also like it's tough because it's like I understand like the generational trauma is weighing down on both of these characters, but neither of them really changed for the better because of it also. And so it was like they broke up, but then he's still the same way towards her, and then she still sees the world the same way. So it's like I don't know what this did for both of them as people. It's like, you know, you always hear about like, you know, there's like reality TV shows where it's like, oh, this ex couple, are they going to get back together? And then, you know, the commentary is always like, well, if neither of them changed, like, what is the point of them getting back together? And I feel like it was kind of similar for this, where it's like they couldn't get over their both of their internal issues with their families. But I feel like even towards the end, that still didn't really happen. Like Minyo and the mom had like a heart-to-heart where she was like, you know, be nice to your son. But like other than that, like I don't feel like it really did too much for them as people. So it was like okay, but I understand for the sake of the plot they needed that break, but I think it would have benefited happening earlier and then really kind of like delved into how they healed and how they overcame this trauma, you know, even together, you know, after doing it separately and kind of figuring out together. That would have been nice, but it just felt like a plot device in this situation, also as a means to bring in the mom and her whole sad side story this whole time. So like I'm like I get it, but yeah, I totally agree with you where I don't think it really worked that well for this drama. Like things didn't really add up, and like even at the very end she still goes to like Africa, so I'm like what
she was like, I'm still going to Africa.
I was like,
and
okay.
he's like, yes.
So yeah, I think,
of all places.
Yeah.
And again, like this hasn't improved much, I don't think, in K-dramas, but she's like, I'm going to Africa, and it's like, Africa's a continent.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Where in Africa are you going? You know?
Oh, yes. Very true. I feel like so many K-dramas, that's like such a big thing.
Right. It's like, are you going to Botswana, Nigeria, South Africa? Like, where, girl?
Yeah.
She's like, I'm going to Africa.
It's like, okay.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, man. Also, the star necklace. What do you think? What was it with the mid 2000s, late 2000s, and the frickin' star necklace? Because I do remember there being a star necklace in Boys Over Flowers as well. And I was like, was that just like a thing back then that they were constantly invoking the stars and celestial things, and then they get like a necklace?
Yeah, I don't know. The star necklace, I totally agree. It's always popping up. Stars was like the thing, you know, like
the thing.
All types of stars, metaphorical stars, real stars. Like it was my love from another star. Like it's all stars. But honestly, I still love it. I don't know. Those like cheesy metaphors, I'm a sucker for, so I can't even complain too much.
All right. Fair enough. Yeah, I think I've come to the end of my notes. The only notes that I have are just like wardrobe, because at one point she's wearing the double a polo shirt inside of another polo with the popped collar. Do you remember that style with like the alternating polo colors? They were wearing two shirts. So.
I thought they looked great back in 09. I was like those outfits. I was like, yes, with she was wearing like the plaid pants, like red plaid pants with the leather jacket and everything super just like
grunge.
Skin tight. And I was like, so cool. And the hair and the makeup too, the amount of black eyeliner they put on Taekyung, I was like, damn.
Damn.
Oh, it was a whole look. But
the hair evolution as well. That was great to see. And I think the only outfit that really bothered me was every time they put him in something that was almost off the sholders, like Taekyung was wearing. It looked very feminine. And then they kept doing, I think it was only 2 times, but I was like, that's enough. They had the blouse. It was a blouse that swooped down in the front.
I vividly remember these.
It looked like a frickin' curtain on him. I was like, he's wearing a curtain. Yeah. And then they did another one. It was like, first he had a gray
and then it was
one
black.
like that. And then it was black. And then there was like a red one. And I was like, it's never ending. Yeah. So that stuff made me laugh as well. It was just very comical to return to that. Someone commented on a TikTok that I did about it and said, he looks so good wearing that kind of stuff as a model. And I was like, okay, just because it's on the runway doesn't mean that it should be on a K-pop star in a K-drama. So, yeah. I had a lot of fun with that.
It's fun though. You know, this is like the part of like the old K-dramas and I'm like, I love it because watching it, you're just like, it brings you back to a time where that was cool. Like people wore that and it was like, that was the shit. And the hairstyles that everyone had too. You're like, dude, that guy was cool back in 2009.
Yeah, he was styling. Yeah. This was fashion.
Yes.
Okay.
So funny. Oh,
I had a lot of fun with it. Ultimately, you know, take what we say with a grain of salt. You can watch this for yourself. It is available on Viki if you want to watch You're Beautiful, and let us know what you think about it. If you agree with our assessment, if you're kind of like, I can't get into it, that's fine. That's fine. It's not every K-drama is for everyone. And the older ones do have a lot of merits. They're very nostalgic for us and for other viewers. And sometimes if you just didn't live through that era, there's no way that you're going to relate to some of the things. So
yeah.
But I think I encourage people to watch older K-dramas.
I
Just
agree.
see for yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like You're Beautiful feels like a K-pop fanfic come to life. You know, like
That's what it is.
yeah,
Yes.
it's like if you have a little bit of the delusional K-pop fan in you, you will eat this up because
You're gonna
you're
love
like,
it.
that could be me. You know, I could be
Yes.
this innocent girl where all three of like my favorite band members are in love with me. You know, like I feel like that is the audience. And like, I don't know if they did ever do a remake and like, you know, kind of fix some of these nitpicky things that we have, I would watch that in a heartbeat. So
You're absolutely right. Because sometimes I miss when like plots go off-roading, you know what I'm saying? Like this thing starts and you're like, this is ludicrous. but
I'm on board.
I'm here. I'm sitting here. I'm ready.
Yeah.
And there's something really enchanting about watching something that you just have to suspend your disbelief over. Yes, we have a ton of nitpicky things. Yes, we can't get over some things. But ultimately, it made us laugh. It entertained us. And it's just like watching like a freaking Fast and Furious movie. It's like you're not in it for the realism. Okay?
Yes, right, exactly.
Yeah. Absolutely. Thank you, Jenny, so much for coming on the podcast, for talking at length about You're Beautiful, your first K-drama ever. I really appreciate you coming back on. The Goblin episode is actually like done really well. I think it's like the second most popular episode on Daebak. So yeah, I'm hoping that people will enjoy this one too and get a lot out of it, because we did.
Sure.
Just in case people don't know about Pocha, where can people find you online?
Yeah, so we are Pocha Playlist. We review K-dramas. We're on basically all of your podcast platforms, so Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, etc. So if you want to follow us on our social media, we do have Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, as well as Instagram, and our handle is just at Pocha Playlist. And then, if you want to check out our episodes, we do release them every week, and we try to keep up to date with the newest released K-dramas. So we do put out an episode every week for those. So come check us out.
Nice. I love Pocha Playlist. And well, that's it. That's been our show. I'm Jessica, and this has been the Daebak K-Rambles podcast.